y'all? It's Abwon, and this is the NBA Full Court Press, where every season is the NBA season. I know I haven't been here for a long time, almost a year, you know what I'm saying? But this time I figured I have to do a hot take for y'all, and I got a special guest.
Let's get it.
From Orlando, Florida. Just let them know who it is real quick.
Yo, what's up, people? My name is Lex. I'm from Orlando, Florida. He came to me with this great idea, and I was like, let's do it. Let's run with it. Let's do it. I'm down. I'm down for game. I'm game.
Word. So you play basketball, right?
Yes, sir. I played basketball in high school. I'm old now. I'm washed now. These knees old, bro.
What? So what position do you play?
The position I played was power forward and center at Jones High School in Orlando, Florida. The best high school in Orlando, Florida. Don't quote me on it. Ain't no don't, but quote me on it.
Wait, so are you in the bubble?
Don't do that. I wish I was in the bubble, but I'm in the city. They know the vibes. I'm in the city. I know the vibes. Word.
So we're gonna go with a hot take today. So pretty much, I got a bowl right here. Lex got a cup. We got a multitude of topics right here, and we're just gonna pull random topics out of the bowl and the cup, and we're gonna talk about them. You know what I'm saying? Keep the viewers on their toes, keep each other on each other's toes. So you're the guest. So you pull first.
Okay, let's do it. I'm mixing it up, family. I'm mixing it up. Let's do it. I'm gonna give you one.
Mixing up the medicine, baby.
All right, I got one for you. Ooh, this is a good one. So the Portland Trailblazers, do you think Dame wants to go to another team? How you feel about that?
All right, so let me tell you about this. I had the Blazers upsetting the Lakers this year.
I know you did.
Yeah, you did. You know I did.
Laker gang all day for the ones that don't know. Gang.
Oh, you a Laker fan?
Of course. Come on now.
I wish they would have told me this. I would have just canceled the whole segment. But my thing with the Blazers is this. The Blazers, Damian Lillard, yes, he can score with the best of them. Yes, he can shoot with the best of them. But it's like Carmelo, as much as I love him.
Don't do Melo. Don't tell me you about to do that. Don't shit on Melo. Don't shoot on Melo. I'm sorry.
Yo, this guy's open. He clanking everything. He can't even average 20 points a game. I just feel like the game has just moved away from him. You know what I'm saying? And instead, hold up a second.
You got it?
Instead of Damian Lillard complaining to the press about him getting snubbed for being an all-star every year, this, that, and the third, I think he needs to complain to the front office about getting him some help.
That too, and I agree on that too. But Carmelo, that's not the role they want Carmelo to play. They don't need him to get 20. They don't need him to get 30. They want him to be that body. They want him to hit those clank shots. You say he not making. They want him to hit those shots when counting. And he can give you a good 15 piece. Like, come on, don't do that. With CJ and Dame holding the team, Carmelo don't have to do much. Carmelo don't have to put up 20. He don't have to put up 20 points, 15 boards. He don't have to do that anymore. He's not young Melo. He knows his role now.
So, if Carmelo's not putting up 20 points a game, who are the Blazers beating in the first round when they're an 8 seed?
I give you that. They need help. Carmelo's not gonna do it by himself. Those three, Dame, CJ, and Melo, not gonna get it done.
Okay, I got you. It's my turn to pull from the bowl.
Oh man, I'm nervous. You got me sweating.
Let's see what we got. Ooh, the physicality of the NBA.
Soft with a capital T. Some players. This is a conversation that's been had since Steph was winning those championships, that everybody's flopping. The physicality is soft now. Nobody can take a hit. So it is what it is, you know. There's no more bad boys. There's no more bad boys that like the bad boy Pistons. We'll never get that again. The only person I think that's closest to that right now are the Morris brothers and what is his name on the Clippers? The Dreads? Is it Trez? Or how you pronounce his name?
Oh, Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell, yes. I think he's a bad boy. He gives me a Ron Artest world meta piece vibes. I believe he can.
Yeah, but you know what? Remember when my Ron Artest threw that elbow at James Harden?
I remember. That's like he gives me those meta world peace vibes.
Chill. I don't want to see an NBA where people getting elbowed for no reason. Like, he was just violent.
He gives me those vibes. I think when he gets excited and he get a bucket over Dwight and just he gives me those kind of vibes.
Right. Pick out your cup.
Let me see. I got my cup. I got my drink in my cup. My drink in my two stuff. Let me see.
I'm ready.
Oh, I wanted you to speak on this one. This one says Giannis' free agency. What do you think about that?
This is Mike Budenholzer's playbook. Shoot a lot of threes. You figure you're gonna make at least half of them, right?
Pass the ball to Giannis.
And pass the ball to Giannis. He got that spin move in the lane. He got that shoulder charge, and they always call a block. They always call a blocking charge.
They're gonna call a block every time. Every time.
This guy takes like maybe 6-7 steps every play in the lane. He gets away with travel.
And he's long, so he's gonna reach out and it's a wrap.
And it's a wrap. So I'm looking at it like I know Richard Jefferson came out and said maybe Giannis is best to be a Pippen, and there was like arguments over that. I think it depends on what team he goes on. But Giannis leaving Milwaukee to go to the Knicks?
I don't see it.
He said him going to the Knicks and him going to the Heat. I don't know if the Heat have enough money for him.
The Heat are beating his ass now. I don't see it. I don't see him leaving.
But that's what I'm saying. If he goes to the Heat, that's a good squad. But they're gonna have to get rid of a lot of people because they might not have enough money.
They're gonna probably have to get rid of half of that. Well, not half, because they have
Harrow.
we talking about Miami right now. We talking about they have Jimmy Butler, Harrow, Dragic. Like, so they might have to give up they might have to give up a good couple pieces to get Giannis. But I don't think Giannis is going anywhere.
I don't think he is either. I think he's gonna stay in Milwaukee. He's gonna tell them, look, listen, get rid of Bledsoe, bring in a point guard.
They'll get rid of like you said. They'll get rid of Bledsoe. They'll get rid of Brown. They'll get rid of what's his name? His name is Sterling Brown, right? That's Shannon.
Yeah.
They'll get rid of him. They'll get rid of
the whole bench. Pretty much the whole bench. Brooke Lopez, all of them.
If he stays, they're going to get rid of majority of the team, like you said, and he's going to get a couple rookies, and he's going to struggle for the rest of his NBA career if he stays, if they don't get him no help.
Are you ready? I'm ready. I don't think you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hold on, what's this? What's this say? Oof. The bubbles in the NBA. Let me know. You in Orlando, so I need to know how you feel about that bubble.
I was just speaking to my dad today. We were watching the game. Clippers and Denver, and we just started. And I was like, I can't believe that they're in Orlando. Like when they did All-Star Weekend here, I was like, oh shoot, we pretty lit as a city. But to have like the bubble here, where people can ride on our I-4, which is our interstate, and literally jump a gate if they want to. Those crazy fans, it's pretty cool that they're here in my city. I think the NBA is the only one that's gotten it right so far. The only league that's gotten it right so far. As far as keeping players safe, as far as keeping referees safe, as far as keeping commentators and other people that have to be there, like the bus drivers, the people that assist you in, and so forth, and people that have to come and feed you and do your tests and so forth. They're the only league that's gotten it right, and I don't think any other league is going to be able to top it, because you have leagues that are playing right now, but they're not on the NBA's level. They're not in one city. Besides the WNBA. WNBA too. I got to give it to the sisters too. WNBA too.
Do you think the bubble plays a big part in terms of the playoffs? Because I feel like without the fans there, especially for a team like the Bucks, without fans there swaying the refs' calls when they get momentum, I feel like it hurts teams.
I felt that way. I felt that way about OKC because Chris Paul wasn't Game 7. Chris Paul wasn't letting anything slide. Not a foul. Not a out of bounds call. Nothing. He wasn't letting anything slide, and he was, not necessarily argumentative with the ref, but he was just letting him know, like, hey, you gonna call that? Like, what's up? And it seemed like they called him in his favor until the last play. That pissed me off. Like you said, the new refs are trash. That pissed me off because I was rooting for CP3. I wanted him to get through Game 7 with a W. I don't care how many points they won by. A W is a W. So when he called that timeout and they kept it going, I was heated. I was like, they did not see this? But, I was heated. I was heated. That's all I really say. But I was heated about that.
They talking about they might be a bubble for next season. But anyway, pull your card.
I already have mine pulled. Let's get it. So this one says, we were just talking about my guy, CP3 and the Rockets. How do you feel about them without CP3? With or without CP3? You want me to go? You go first.
I'm going, okay, so CP3. This man was talking so big about he needs to take the clutch shot. He lives for these shots, this and the third.
Don't start with that.
I gotta start with this. Game 7. There was a call. Danilo Gallinari took the free throw. I don't know why Chris Paul wasn't taking it.
He missed it too, I believe.
And he missed it. And there was a sequence. It was like the last 2 minutes of the game, something like that.
In the last couple plays of the game.
Yeah. The refs weren't calling fouls on either team. They were letting them play physical. Both teams went back and forth. It was real sloppy basketball. Chris Paul came down, missed a mid-range shot. He got the rebound, passed it over to one of the young guys. He missed the shot. And then for the last play of the game, Game 7, he passed it over to Dort.
Yep. Dort was hot all night, and I can understand as a point guard, I see a wide open man, let me see, but Harden wasn't having that. I know he's beating himself up because I want him to win so bad.
Beating himself up until he get that check because he got a mighty astronomical contract.
Well, of course. I mean, of course, and that's what I think about when things like that happen. Oh, they don't care about it because they getting a nice check. But he felt some type of way about that. That last little Instagram clip before he left the bubble. I want to thank the fans. This, that, and the third. He felt like he was about to. It looked like he was about to cry.
Rondo told him one time, "Yo, you ain't ever getting the ring." Chris Paul was so angry at that statement, he tried to fight him in the locker room, and KG was like, "Chill."
And they told him exactly. They told him to chill. I remember that.
They said you gotta chill. We know you.
But Rondo always been a hothead. Are we gonna act like Rondo has never been a hot? Like, are we gonna act like he's not a hothead?
He ain't talking about Rondo right now. We talking about CP3. Now, in terms of the Rockets, James Harden is my guy. But I feel like James Harden is only good when the regular season comes because the playoffs come, and I'm like, Harden, where you at, bro? CP3 was so big for that team, him and Capella, and I'm like, y'all got rid of him. I love Westbrook. I love him. But I just don't think that's a good look, yo. I don't think that's a good look.
You know, I feel like Capella filled the floor for them, and, especially on fast breaks and stuff like that. But I think that Rockets team would have been able to beat this Laker team.
I agree. Hold on. Moving on. Hold up now. I think I got a good one Are you ready for this or not?
I'm ready.
Ooh, this is a good one. The Sixers and their downfall.
Besides Allen Iverson, I don't know nothing about the Sixers. I mean, as far as the head coach getting fired, it sucks because, speaking of coaches...
Wait, we gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that later.
I'm theory about that, but the head coach getting fired, but they knew that was gonna happen. It happens every year. To the teams that don't make it and the teams that are trash, they get rid of the coaches. That's the first thing they go. They get rid of the coaches. The first thing they go, besides players. The first thing to go is the coaches. So
I got a question for you though.
What?
And I don't ever like to put this upon people. What coach do you feel is gonna get fired next?
I want to say a team that's in the playoffs right now. I'm gonna say the Bucks, especially if they get swept. The Bucks come. If they get swept, I think he's gonna get fired next.
Back to the Sixers though. These guys started the process. Trust the process, right? They tanked. They tanked. Their point
guard. They taught their point guard how to shoot.
They could have had Jason Tatum. But
and that's a bad boy.
He is a bad boy. Shout out to my Celtics, even though we tied up 2-2 right now. But my thing with the Sixers is this: like, they let Jimmy Butler go, even though he didn't get along with that team. I get it; he's not for everybody, but I still mess with Jimmy Butler.
I rise with Jimmy.
They gave Tobias Harris that ridiculous contract.
I like Tobias Harris though. For some reason, he's not trash. I hear a lot of people say he's trash. I like to see
he worked that contract.
He's not worth the contract, though.
Okay, then. So there we go. They gave Al Horford that, and I like how Al Horford. He's a Celtic. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say he's a Celtic. So
but he's not worth that money, and he doesn't fit that team. They got no shooting. And Ben Simmons can't shoot either.
They had to teach him how to shoot. Now he's jacking it up when he was jacking it up. Now he was jacking it up from the three. You're like, when did he learn how to jack it up from the three?
I think Brett Brown... You know what? Like I said, I hate whenever I see people get fired, but just like you said, this is the NBA. It happens every day. Brett Brown, he gets along with everybody. I don't think he's a good coach. I really don't think he's a good coach. He's not really good with adjustments. He doesn't tell his players what it is. And I've seen so many times where coaches would just out coach him, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna make adjustments, you're gonna change your rotations. Like, what are you doing?
I think his team plays recreational basketball sometimes.
Do you think they're gonna keep the Ben Simmons and Embiid duo?
Yes. I think if they, I feel like I say yes only because they haven't seen these two players play to the best of their abilities just yet. I want to say last year's playoff was the best that I've ever seen the both of them play together in like.
And they still got eliminated.
My point exactly. That's my point. They still got eliminated, but they're thinking, okay, if we keep this duo and we get more pieces around them, in their minds we can get it. We'll make it.
I don't know. Yo, pick yours out of the cup, yo.
I'm going for you already because I already knew it was coming.
Let's go.
Oh, we hit up the boycott LeBron. How you felt about it?
Woo!
I don't want to pick no one after this. We done after this.
Listen, let me tell you something. I remember that day. I was betting on DraftKings because I'm on DraftKings.
Okay.
And I heard that the players weren't coming out. The Bucks weren't coming out, like you said.
It was the Bucks.
And I was like, wait, they really about to do this? They boycotted.
They were about to play. They had about 30 minutes. They was out there shooting and everything. They was about to play.
And then they said they're going to boycott, right? 2 days later, the NBA playoffs resume on Saturday. I'm like, what's going on here? So these guys took these guys pulled a no-call, no-show and told their employer, listen, this is what we're going to do.
They took a break. They retired.
Yeah, they said we tired, the bubble, you know what I mean? It is what it is. We don't really got no groupies around here. We can't really party. Like, we're bored. We want to take a day off. They came back 2 days later and said, we got a list of demands, and you have to uphold them or we're not going to play anymore. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I was one of the advocates for the NBA not coming back at all this season.
Really?
I felt like they should have just canceled it and just started anew in October.
Really?
Yes. Even though I love basketball and I really did miss it, I was like, nah, you're going to come back for what? Like, players were opting out left and right.
True.
It was so late into the summer. I'm like, bro, it's like July. Like, what are y'all doing? Saw Spencer Dinwiddie come out maybe like 2 weeks after the lockdown for the COVID happened, and he was like, a lot of players like live paycheck to paycheck. I feel like a lot of players was like, yo, LeBron, bro, like, listen, we don't make $15 million a season, bro. Like,
I think those are rookie and the bench players. I don't think it was them high top players.
Of course.
But you're right. But here's the thing: they said that the Lakers and the Clippers are the only two teams that was like, yo, we really willing to leave and boycott the rest of the season, and every team is ready to play. Now, I get this: the majority of NBA players are African American. But there are a lot of players there that don't, how can I say this? They don't think Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. And I'll bring up one of them. Gordon Hayward plays for my Celtics. His wife is a well-known Trump supporter. And I don't know how that goes with the locker room or whatever, but I'm sure people probably felt like, well, you know what? I feel like George Floyd was wrong because of, whatever they said. And they're like, nah, chill. I'm not boycotting because what am I boycotting for? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got a family, this and the third. I looked at it like, if you guys were going to make this happen, this boycott happen, y'all really should have had a plan and executed that plan as opposed to we're going to boycott and then try to figure it out later.
And
that's why I felt like that's where Orlando Magic should have came in at. Should have came into play. You're in my city. This is happening yet again. This is what we stopped playing for from the very beginning.
Word.
This is what we stopped playing. Besides COVID, this is what we stopped playing for. This is what we stopped playing for because we're tired of the system. The systemic racism, and I feel like the boycott was a postponement, basically, like a break, like we said. Like nobody was willing to sacrifice anything. Period. What did this mean? I heard LeBron. I was watching First Take. Well, not First Take. Yeah, First Take. And Stephen A. Smith was saying, "Whoa," was in the meeting on the phone, and LeBron was saying, he's done. And all the players was like, "Well, bro, who you think you talking to? Like, why are you talking to us like that?" He's like, "It's not us." And he was like, "But it starts with us." So that's why he's on every interview saying, what he feels or what he feels and how he feels and, what he wants to be done and why he's taking his company and money and doing what he wants to do to make a change. And I applaud him for that. I just think it was mad corny for them to do it for 2 days and go back to work. Like, imagine if civil rights leaders sat in for 3 minutes and then went back to work. All right, we done. We done got beat up. I'm bloody. Let me go back to work. Let me get back on this clock. You know what I mean? What if Harriet Tubman had ran off, ran for 3 days and then came back and just stayed. You know what I mean? So I just think it was mad corny,
I think it was corny too. Did you pull? Oh no, you pulled that one out,
That
right?
was my pool. Yeah, that was my pool.
My bad. Hold up. Relax, killer. Hold up now. It's giving me some problems here. Hold on.
No, you good.
Ooh.
I know what is it?
Who you think it's gonna be? What you think it's gonna be?
We already did. It's not the physicality. We already did what I want. What? Hit it. Give it to me. Hit me with it.
The Steve Nash hiring.
I just hate how they doing my boy Mark Jackson. Like,
You.
Mark Jackson, Derek Fisher,
I don't want to take it there, but
Chauncey Billups,
I don't want to take it there. But
Sam Cassell.
You.
Stephen A. came out and said he thinks that hiring was white privilege.
okay, well, Stephen A. took it there. Facts. I totally.
You agree with him?
I agree with him 100%. Because where the hell did Steve Nash come from? He was chilling. I follow Steve Nash on Instagram. He was chilling. He didn't make no kind of announcements of. I follow my Lakers. I'm telling you, Gary Payton, all of them. There was no kind of announcement saying, "Hey, I got something in the works. Stay tuned." None of that. Next thing you know, we wake up the next day. Oh, Steve Nash is the hire. How? Like,
Well, in his defense, they get lit out here because of Labor Day weekend. In his defense, Sean Marks, the Nets GM, said that they kept everything under lock and key. Okay, I get that because Danny Ainge does the same thing. They keep everything lock and key. They don't ever release anything to the public. But my thing is this. When's the last time you seen Steve Nash courtside at an NBA game?
Thank you. You've never seen him sit. The last time was probably a Phoenix game, and Phoenix is trash. I mess with Devin Booker, but Phoenix is trash.
It's trash.
They're trash. He hasn't sat courtside since.
You're right.
He retired after the Lakers, and that was, you haven't seen or heard about a Steve Nash. This was just out of the blue. Lock and key, nah. They'll be all right though, because they'll be all right.
You think they'll be all right?
The upside of that, him coaching Kyrie, 2-point guard. You don't think so?
Okay, so Steve Nash, we know in his Phoenix Suns days, the 8 seconds or less, right?
Okay.
That worked back then because every NBA team was playing post-up basketball.
I'm getting my job ready for you.
Word.
And more physical too.
It was more physical. The game was slower. Remember, back then it used to be the team that scores 100 points wins the game. Now it's the team that scores, that shoots, that makes as many threes wins the game. So now I'm looking at it like, okay, we got D'Antoni, who pretty much taught Steve Nash the game. When's the last time Mike D'Antoni been to the finals? And this guy might have the most.
Great point. But Mike don't he coach Houston? He coaches Houston now.
He coaches Houston, and which might be he coaches one of the most prolific players in terms of shooting and getting to the line in the game today, in James Harden.
I was gonna say it ain't Westbrook, it's James.
It's James Harden. This guy could get to the line like 15 to 20 times a game. He makes like 8 to 11 threes a game. The Rockets don't go anywhere. My thing with this is when the Suns had that team with Steve Nash, right? They had a pass first point guard. They had Sean Marion, an all-star.
I was gonna say Sean Marion too. Don't forget.
Amari Stoudemire, who was arguably a superstar at the time.
A superstar to the center.
You know what I'm saying? Joe Johnson, who was another all-star and three-point specialist. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You come to the Nets, right? And this is disregarding all
you dropping knowledge for real, because I completely forgot about Joe Johnson.
Exactly, and then he got that big contract with the Hawks and then faded into obscurity. Anyway, he comes to the Nets, right? You got Kyrie, who has a bad attitude sometimes. He's willing to throw his teammates under the bus. And then you got Kevin Durant. You have Kevin Durant, who's probably the most efficient player in the game. Okay, cool, I get that. But then you don't have an Amari Stoudemire. And then you got these guys off the bench in Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert that need the basketball too.
LeVert is gonna be back up to Kyrie, we know.
Yeah, we know that.
We know that. I think those boys would be okay with Steve Nash. I mean, the knowledge that you're dropping, especially the young boys.
But I'll tell you this.
Because they made it to the playoffs. They made it to the bubble.
The Suns were scoring, what, like 115 points a game back then? Something like that, give or take?
Give or take.
NBA teams right now are scoring like 120 points a game on average right now.
130.
Word.
130.
So you're gonna tell me you're gonna take a team and go from scoring 130 points a game and have them score, what, 160, and you're gonna win a championship?
No, not even.
That Suns team never played defense.
Not even.
And defense, that's what I was gonna say. Defense plays a part in that too. Cause you can't hit 160 without playing D.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna score 160 and expect the other team to score 90 points. That's not happening. The other team is scoring at least 120 at least. That's it, man. That's it for the hot takes, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Lex, I'm gonna give you the floor. Let people know your Instagram, your social media, and all that stuff.
Yes, sir. My Instagram, only socials I really do is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is Alexa Ross. That's my first and last name. My first name is spelled with Alex, A on the end, Alexa. Last name Ross, Ross. That's Facebook. And then my social media for Instagram is Lexx_Bubble. That's LEXX_Bubble 24 for August 24th, my birthday, and 0824 for my boy Kobe.
Wait. August 24th is your birthday.
Yes. Of course. Virgo gang. Hey.
August 30th. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
I got one last question for you.
Oh, and Twitter too. Twitter, I'm avidly on Twitter as well. Twitter as well as Lexx Bubble as well. I don't want to make it difficult. LEXX_Bubble 24.
I got one last question for you, Lex.
Go ahead, my brother.
Who you got going to the finals this year?
Well, I'm going to say Lakers and Boston. I had two predictions. I got Lakers and Boston. I'm gonna give you that because of us. And then I had Boston and the Clippers. I'm not gonna flex because the Lakers is my team. But if my team don't make it, I got Boston and Clippers.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's gonna be Boston and the Clippers. Yo, we out of here, yo. That's Lexx and Abwon, man. That's a full court press. Make sure y'all check it. Make sure y'all follow us. Check us out for future videos, man. We out of here, yo. Be good. Peace.